Okay, this video is to go along with number 13 from page 75. We're going to do just part D, where we find the specific equation for this given quadratic function using the 3 points that they give us. So step one is to take those 3 points and get 3 equations that will help us find our 3 unknowns, A, B, and C. So we're going to do that first. We're going to plug them in no particular order here. Just make sure you put them in the right spot. X is 5, 18 is y. So our first version of this looks like 18 equals a times 5 squared. I'm going to make that 25a right away. Maybe I'll put up here where that came from. So that's a times 5 squared. Just simplifying it a little bit right off the bat. Plus b times 5, or 5b, plus c. Number 2 comes from this point, 3 comma 4. So 4 is equal to a times 3 squared, which would end up being 9a plus 3b plus c. And then our last one, we're going to use the point 1 comma 6. So we have 6 equals, this one is just a plus b plus c. So nice, neat, clean numbers on this one. Now, currently we have 3 equations with 3 unknowns. The big first step is to get this down to just 2 equations with 2 unknowns. So we're going to take one of our equations, it doesn't matter which one, solve it for c. So now it will say c is equal to a bunch of stuff with just a and b. Put that into our other 2 equations, so those will just have a and b. So I'm going to take probably this one here and just solve it for c, meaning I'm going to subtract a, I'm going to subtract b from both sides. So c is equal to 6 minus a minus b. Okay, we're going to use that to get down to just 2 equations and 2 unknowns. So let's take our other 2 equations now, the one that has 18 equals and the one that has 4 equals. Instead of writing c here, we're going to replace it with 6 minus a minus b, because that's what c is equal to. They're equivalent to each other. So that ends up looking like 18 equals 25a plus 5b plus 6 minus a minus b. You don't algebraically need those parentheses, just trying to show that substitution. And then we have 4 equals 9a plus 3b plus, not c, but 6 minus a minus b. Now, after we clean this up, we will have much simpler 2 equations, 2 unknowns. So I'm just going to combine like terms with these, and also move the 6 that's on the right-hand side over to the left-hand side with either the 18 or the 4, just to make it look as simplified as possible. So that's going to turn into, actually I'll just write them, yeah, right here. So 12 equals 24a plus 4b. Combining my like terms there with the a's and the b's. And then negative 2 equals 8a plus 2b. So we have just a system of equations. The only unknowns here are a and b. You can solve either using substitution or elimination. Pick your favorite method. I'm going to use elimination. Okay, so let's keep going here. I'm just going to sort of separate my work. I'm going to recopy those equations just so I can do this elimination process. If I tried to add or subtract one equation from the other right now, nothing would cancel out. Nothing would be eliminated. So I have to have either the same number of b's or the same number of a's to be able to do that. To me, looking at this, it seems easiest if I could just make it so everything, or both equations had 4 b's, then I could cancel those out. So I'm going to take this bottom equation only this time, just multiply everything by 2, so that I would have 4b and 4b for both of those. So my new equation on the bottom looks like negative 4 equals 16a plus 4b. And I'm just going to leave alone. I don't need to mess with that one at all. I'm just going to recopy it. Now I can subtract one equation from the other to cancel out those b's. Be careful with your negatives here. We're really doing 12 plus 4, or 16. But then 24a minus 16a is just 8a. divide both sides by 8. A is equal to 2. We've done the hard part. Finding that first constant value is definitely the hard part. Now we're going to plug in A and solve for B. So we are sort of limited on what equations we can work with right now and limited on what we can find. The only thing we really can find next is B. So we're going to plug in A, solve for B, using an equation that has just A and B. So we've got a lot of options. I'm going to use this one right here. This 12 equals 24A, 24 times 2 plus 4B. When we get B all by itself, we end up getting just -9. Go ahead and work through that. Please reach out if you have questions about where that value is coming from. Okay, and then now that we have A and B, we can plug in both of those and solve for C. I think the best choice of equations here, although it's not the only choice, is this one up here, because it already says C equals. We're just going to plug in A and B and solve. So I have C equals 6 minus A, which was 2, minus B, which was -9. So just be careful with that. C ends up being 13. So nice whole numbers on this one. Not too messy, they don't get too large. Make sure you're writing down your final answer here. So y is equal to 2x squared minus 9x plus 13. Don't forget to think about ways you could double check your work. Go back to the given info at the beginning. You know some points that are on that graph. Make sure that those do correspond with the equation that you just found. Okay, please come see me if you need help with those.